this video I'm going to show you how to do the crossed double crochet stitch, or if you're in the US, the crossed single crochet stitch. It's a really lovely stitch, one row repeated pattern, so it is the same on the reverse as it is on the front, making it ideal for scarves. It's a nice dense fabric to it. It's sort of thick fabric, but it does sort of have, it's quite substantial. You do get a nice sort of texture to it, so if you wanted to use it for dishcloths you could, or if you want to use it for a scarf or for a beanie, something like that. There's not too many holes in it, so it would keep you nice and toasty. So let's have a look at the tutorial. So for this tutorial I'm using a Stylecraft Aran. I'm using a 5mm crochet hook, and I have a pair of scissors to cut off my ends. So we're going to start off with a slip knot, and you can do this in whichever way you prefer. And we're going to make a foundation chain in multiples of 2. So you yarn over and pull through the slip knot on your hook, that's one chain. Yarn over, pull through the one on your hook, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm going to do a chain of 20, so you can do yours as long or as short as you'd like it to be, as long as it's in a multiple of 2. So pause the video now whilst you make your foundation chain. So for our foundation row then, we're going to be working back down the chain, and we're going to be starting in the second chain from the hook. So we don't count the one on the hook, so 1, 2, and we're going in there with a double crochet. That's UK terminology. In US terminology, that would be a single crochet. So we're going to insert, yarn over, 2 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2, and that gives us our double crochet. We're going to chain 1, and we're going to skip the next chain. So there's the chain we've worked. We're going to skip this chain, and we're going to work a double crochet in the next chain. Going to chain 1, going to skip a chain and work a double crochet in the next chain. And we're going to do that all the way down the row. So you chain 1, double crochet, sorry, chain 1, skip a stitch, double crochet, chain 1, skip a stitch, double crochet, chain 1, skip a stitch, double crochet. So pause the video now whilst you work your way down the row, and I shall see you in a moment. So I've come to the end of my row 1. I'm going to start row 2 by chaining 1 and turning my work. That chain 1 does not count, so we're going to do a double crochet in that very first stitch. So from now on we're going to be working double crochets 2 together over the 1 chain spaces. So if you pull your work apart a little bit, you'll be able to see the 1 chain spaces in between your work. And we're going to be going in to the stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, then find the next 1 chain space, insert, yarn over, pull up a loop. So you have 3 loops on your hook. You yarn over and pull through all 3. Then you chain 1. That chain 1 is very important. For the next double crochet 2 together, we're going to start in the last 1 chain space that we worked, and then we finish in the next 1 chain space. So we insert, yarn over, pull up a loop, then find the next 1 chain space, pull up another loop. We've got 3 loops on our hook, yarn over, pull through all 3, and chain 1. Working in the one you've just worked in, pull up a loop, then working in the next one, pull up a loop. So 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through all 3, and chain 1. And we're going to work our way down the row, working in the 1 chain space you've just worked, working in the next 1 chain space, yarn over, pull through all 3, and chain 1. And we're going to work that way all the way down the row, and join me when you get to your last 1 chain space, and I'll show you what to do at the end. So I've just worked my last 1 chain space, but I still have some stitches left, and what we're going to do is insert into that 1 chain space and pull up a loop, and then we're going to complete our double crochet 2 together by working into the final stitch, pull up a loop, then yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. And there you have row 2 complete. So we're going to chain 1 and turn our work. Remember, chain 1 doesn't count, so we're going to work into that very first stitch with a double crochet. We're going to chain 1, and then we're going to work back into that same stitch and then in the next 1 chain space to do our double crochet 2 together. So we insert into the same stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, insert into the next 1 chain space, pull up a loop, and finish our double crochet 2 together and chain 1. And we're going to work into the same chain space and the next chain space as we did on the previous row, doing our double crochets 2 together and chaining 1. Working into the same chain space and the next chain space, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops and chain 1. So row 3 is very similar to row 2, except at the beginning you do your double crochet in that first stitch, chain 1, and then do your double crochet 2 together starting in that very first stitch. So I'm going to work my way down the row, and I will join you at the end of the row to see how we go on to the next row. So I've just worked into my last 1 chain space, going to chain 1, going to work into the same 1 chain space and into the final stitch to make my double crochet 2 together, and then that row is complete. So we just repeat that row each time. So you chain 1 and you turn, you do a double crochet in your first stitch, chain 1, and then we're working into those 1 chain spaces, starting in that very first stitch and then in the next stitch and chain 1. So I'm going to work up a few more rows now for you to see how it looks, and I shall see you in a moment. So I've worked up a few more rows for you to see how it looks, and obviously it's the same on the front as it is on the back. And you get these lovely little sort of crisscrosses from where you've done your double crochet 2 together. Really nice simple stitch, a real mindful stitch, and certainly one that's worth keeping in mind when you just want something nice with a nice little bit of texture to it. Make great bobble hats, make really nice scarves, and it feels quite solid. Not thick, but it feels like a solid, substantial stitch. So that's how to do the cross double crochet or cross single crochet if you're in the US. So I really hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please give it a thumbs up. It really helps the algorithm to do its business and to show it to other crocheters. I will pop 2 more videos on the side of the screen over here to help you on your crochet journey, and I will see you over there. Thank you so much for joining me on this one, and happy hooking!